All right, so here's what we're going to do. The important thing is this starts off kind of diagonal. So I'm going to put a diagonal line. Actually, I'm going to, you know what? I think this might work better. No, we'll just go over here. I'm going to put a diagonal line towards the top of my paper, just like that. So start with a diagonal line. And then I'm going to curve it around. It's going to make like a big letter U, but it's kind of a long one. And I need this side to be at the same diagonal. So it's kind of rounded off at the back. About the same length. Okay? So it's like a U sitting crooked on the page. I apologize for this room being so warm and muggy. I don't know why. I don't know if the AC's working today or what. It's awfully hot in here. All right, then there's going to be another diagonal line. Draw it lightly going from that one down to this one. And if there's a tag in, erase it. So now it should look like a big letter D. Uppercase D. But it's elongated. Okay, a regular D would be in here. This one is stretched out a little bit. It's important that we stretch it just a little bit. Again, if I get too far ahead, make sure that you raise your hand so I know I'm not getting too far ahead of you. We're going to draw two more parallel lines that'll be at the same angle as this line and this line. So we're going to come along here just like this, and I'm going to come a little down from the top. And I'm going to draw a line that goes at the exact same angle as that other one is going. And then I'm going to come over here and come up a little bit from the bottom and put another line. Okay, so they're both same diagonal, same angle. This line, this line, this line, this line should all be about the same angle. All right, now it should look like, you know, something you'd plug into a wall outlet. Looks like a plug. Now the tricky part. We're going to draw kind of an oval shape. Excuse me, it's going to be more circular, but kind of oval, and it's going to go right on the end here. The important part is some goes above the line right there, and some goes below the line right here, okay? So I'm going to just start that so I know that I've got that above and this below, and then I'm just going to connect it right here. Just like that. I don't need to draw one on this side, because I just erase it anyway. I just need to bring it rounded on top and on bottom. So I'm just going to clean up my lines a little bit. I got a lot of lines. I'm just going to clean it up. That's kind of a strange shape, but this will all make sense in a little bit. And this is one of my favorite characters to do because it's a relatively easy one to draw something that is hard for most people. Okay, is everybody that far? Does anybody need another second? Okay, you guys that need a second, just give me a thumbs up. I'll move on as soon as I see them. Remember to stay quiet while we're waiting so we can get to the next part. Tracks. Okay, we're going to go to the next part here. We're going to add an eye to this. We're going to put so where this line comes across here, we're going to go slightly below it and put another angled line that comes back same angle as before. I'm going to bring this down closer so you can see a little bit better. Same angle as before, but this is where it's going to change a little bit. I'm going to come down, make a swoop line, and swoop back up to it, okay? So this is the shorter side, this is the longer side. Long, short. Comes right back up. Okay. And right in the front of this, in this left corner right here, I'm just going to put a little curved line and fill that in black. That's where the eye is looking forward, okay? Right there. So that's what it should look like on there. That should be filled in black. I don't know why it's not focusing, but you get the idea. Now it's focused. Okay, right now it doesn't look like much other than some weird shape with an eyeball. Now we're going to turn it into something. Okay, now is when you got to kind of start paying attention to what I do all the way around, because we don't want to get lost here. About halfway down, I'm going to bring a mouth that comes back, same angle as the other angles, and then curves up a little bit. It's about halfway between top and bottom. You don't want to get too far up or too far down. Okay, it's kind of dividing this shape here in half and then curves up slightly. Now it's going to do something a little bit different. That shouldn't take anybody very long because it's just one little line. Now we're going to come around here and we're going to curve in like that and then back out with a curved line going back out like that. So it's in and back out. And once I do that, I will erase this part right there. Okay. Naya, you okay? Were you able to keep up? All right. I'm not ready to move yet. I'm just checking on you guys. It's kind of important to get that shape right and not make it too. You don't want to really come around. Like if this is what it looked like on the end there. You don't want to do this, okay? That's too steep of an angle. Okay, so if you did something that looks really steep like that, you might want to be a little less extreme with this part, okay? Not so far in. Bring it out here a little more, out here, and then go down, okay? All right, now we're going to go down to the chin, and it's going to be a very similar shape. We're going to go around that, bring it in, and then bring it down and blend it right in down below. Trex, keeping up. Now we have a nose and a chin and a mouth. Yeah. Okay, we're going to make another little adjustment. Is everybody this far? Does anybody need a second before I make the next? Okay. So at the bottom of our D right here, I'm going to come right off this corner, and I'm going to angle a line that comes out just a little bit and comes into the face. So just like that. I'm going to angle out. It looks like a big check mark now. Okay. Remember, keep the talking out of it so it doesn't show up all over the video. All right, then we're going to add some ears. These ears are going to be a little bit different. I'm going to come down into the body of the head, clear down like that, putting a diagonal line right there. That one's straight. And then I'm going to come out a little bit and then curve this down and not connect it down here at the bottom. Okay? The trick with this is to not get it too skinny. You don't want to, if I got that ear right there, I don't want it to look like this. Okay, that's too skinny. But I don't want it, you know, super fat either, okay? Before I can draw the other ear, I have to put one other detail on here, so I'm going to do that in a second. We'll come back to the ear in a second. Okay, boys, in the back, stop chattering. Okay, we're going to come right here and we're going to put The front of the neck is going to go right here. It's just inside the D a little bit, comes in, and it curves slightly down, just like that. That's not a perfectly straight line. It has a nice little bend to it, okay? And we need the back of the neck, so I'm going to do the same thing over here, but this is going to be a little bit different. This is going to come above the head here, and I'm going to come out to the end of where the D is here. And I'm going to go a little bit above towards the top of the ear, and as I get to the back of the head, I'm going to get closer and closer. See how close I am to the back of the head now? I'm really close to the back of the head. I'm going to come around the back of the head, and then I'm just going to bring that line on down like that, okay? I don't want to get this neck super wide, but I don't want this line and this line to all of a sudden get close either. I don't want them angled towards each other. They need to be parallel to each other. Hopefully you can see that clearly on the screen. That line's kind of an important one. It kind of forms the whole shape of the mane and the neck. So it's pretty important that you get it close here and further away here. What it also does is tells us where the other ear is going to go. So I'm going to put another straight line right here, and it's going to be a little shorter than the other one. So this ear is slightly taller than that ear, and it stops at that line right there because this is behind where the mane's going to go and the forelock. What do we got to do with this ear right here? Thank you. Yep, we got to get rid of that line inside of it because it's closest to us. Good job. Okay, so now this appears closer, this appears further. Okay, off the front of his forehead right here, it's going along, then you got a hard right angle. I want you to take from that corner and just put a nice curved line there, so it's just coming down like a little slippery slide and gets rid of that hard right angle. Then we can erase this line in here all the way down to the bottom of the jaw. Okay, so that's all cleaned up now. See how that changes the angle on it? Looks a little more natural. That's still kind of a real pointed area, but some of that, a little pointy's okay on it. All right, we're going to go for some detail work. We're going to stay on this mane for a second. We're going to come back a little ways like that, and then I'm going to bring this forward past the forehead just like that. And then I'm going to bring it back underneath the line just a little ways. So I'll hold that up so you can see what I've done. And if you notice, it looks kind of like the letter M right there. So like up, down, letter M. Okay. Okay, by the ear here, I'm going to bring another line that comes down this way, curves this way, then that way, and that's like an upside down M, okay, or a W. And this is his forelock right here. So where this line came down, I'm going to curve it up. I'm going to have it start curving up right here, and I'm going to put one more little one right there. So now it goes over, curves up, and then you got doot, 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 doot. Okay? Kind of pay attention to that because it's a little different on that last one because you're trying to bring this and connect it up with one more little strand of hair. And then we're going to come down and do the mane that comes down the back of the neck. And basically what we've done, everything's been W's and M's so far. Okay. Now let's go behind his ear. We're going to bring one down like that and curve it slightly forward. Okay, it's just a letter V, slightly forward, not straight like we drew it with a ruler, just a slight curve to it. And gravity plays a part, makes the hair hang down. Does anybody need another second to get caught up to here? Because I know I've been going kind of quick. So, yep, okay, just get caught up and then let me know. All right. Next part of the mane, we're going to make a much longer one. This one's going to come way down here below the jawline and come back up and stop. So now we got a big W going right there. Then we're going to do the next one. It's going to be long, but it's going to curve the other way. These all curve this way. This one's going to curve the opposite direction. Make sure you're paying attention to that. I've curved the other way. This V goes this way, like the wind's blowing it that way. This V, it's like the wind's blowing it that way. And then this next one is going to go the same way as the last one. Come up and then just stop. Bring that back to the neck. And we've got his mane on him. Okay? All right. I'll give you guys a second to get caught up, and then we'll do some other small details. But I love this drawing because it's a fairly easy horse to draw and looks a whole lot better than this. Okay?
That one looks better than mine. The one on the nose.
Maybe you better pay attention more. Okay. Yeah, I think you got your D a little long on there. All right, is everybody caught up? Does anybody need a second before I go on? All right, don't see any hands. So now we got to do a little bit of erasing. Where that original line of the back of the D went, erase that out of there because we don't want that going through the middle of our forelock and we don't want it going through the middle of our mane. And it will stop down there at the corner right there. So that's all cleaned up. Then I'm going to come down here where the jawline is, clean that up. Now the inside of the mane and the forelock's clean. And then just inside where I got my forelock, I'm going to put a curved line for the back of the jaw. I'm going to let it curve and curve right in to the bottom of the jaw, and then I'll erase that little part in between. That way we can see the back of the jaw between it and the mane right there. It can go clear up near the ear. Let's see if that'll focus for you. Okay. And now we're focusing on little details. We'll come to the nose. We'll come around here and make like a number 9, but not close it. Okay, it's a big nostril. Don't make it too small. You don't want your horse to not be able to breathe. Okay, you want to make sure he can breathe. Is everybody keeping up? Anybody need a second? All right. We need a couple eyelids here. So we're going to put one right off the top that curves back like that. And then don't touch this one to the eye, just bring it down. That one doesn't touch, the upper one does, okay? It's like a lower and upper eyelid. We don't need to take it all the way around, just in front's enough. Then horses have a little tendon muscle that runs down their muzzle. So we're going to just bring that right down here. I'm going to curve it a little bit there, and then just bring it straight down, and then bring another one just underneath it, just like that. And then for my final thing on this, as far as drawing goes, we'll put a standard little parenthesis on the end of the mouth, and then a little bit bigger one behind it, so you can see he's smiling good. And here's where we gotta be a little bit careful. We're going to go ahead and carefully color in the face and the neck, just like we did on that bear. We want to go medium light on this. Use the side of your pencil. Do not scribble. You guys are getting better. I looked at your drawings. They are getting better. You can color right through the nostril area. Try to keep it all going the same direction because all these lines kind of go this way. We don't want to get too dark, just a nice light medium. Don't have a bunch of space between your lines so it doesn't look like scribble. You got to kind of be careful. Take your time as you're doing this. Don't get in a big rush. Like I said, there's no prize for being the first one done. The prize is doing the best that you can do. Now it's going to be a little tricky when we get up around the mane and the forelock because there's little places you got to go in between. So just be careful as you're going around them. Make sure everything gets filled in. If you go a little bit into the mane accidentally, don't worry about it right now. Don't try to erase it out. Just kind of leave it because we're going to actually make the mane darker than the mane than the hair on the main part of the horse, the face and the neck. So it's okay if it goes a little bit in because what we put over it will cover it up. We'll do the ears the same colors we're doing the rest of the face and neck. I'm just working my way through this just like you should. Keeping my lines close together like you should and hopefully are. If you think about it, you've gone, some of you, from just barely being able to draw a stick person to just in a few days, you've drawn a bear, you got an old man, you got a fish, and now you got a horse. And likely, it's a little better than a lot of the horses in the past. It's actually a pretty good cartoon horse that's not too hard to draw, as in the shapes are easy to recognize. And fairly easy to remember. If you can remember to draw a letter D, two diagonal lines, and then put a oval on the end, and then change it to a nose and a chin, pretty much can draw the horse. So that's why I like it, because it appeals to a lot of different levels of being able to draw, because it's pretty easy shapes to remember. All I'm doing right now is just darkening my lines while I'm waiting for you guys to get caught up. Because none of these lines will get erased now because we're finished with those. And I'm going to go just slightly darker up here so it's more even with the rest. All right, now we're going to go for the darkest part, and that will be the mane. If you're not ready for the mane, you're still coloring on the face and the neck, that's fine. Just catch up when you can. I'm going to come over here, and I am going to definitely press harder when I do the mane. I don't necessarily want to make it black just because I don't want to have to take that much time, and it uses up a ton of graphite out of your pencil. I just want it to be darker than what the body and the neck, or what the head and the neck are. So that the ear stands out against it, and that the mane stands out against the neck and the forehead. But if we had more time, we could make it black, but like I said, it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of graphite. And just for the sake of time, we're going to not make it black. Besides that, doing a medium dark takes more control than doing black, so it's better practice. Do notice that I'm following the contour, the shape of the line of the neck when I'm doing this. I'm not coloring this way. Okay, I'm following it around. And I turn my paper because it's easier. Instead of turning my hand or wrist all the way around, I just turn the paper. It also makes it so my hand's not rubbing over my drawing everywhere and making a big mess. Keeping my hand off my drawing. Hopefully you guys are picking up on these little tricks as you go, that the less your hand rubs on your drawing, the less smearing and fingerprints you have. Now if you're left-handed, you turn it just the other way. I need you to look up at the screen just for a minute, okay? This is what it should look like on your paper, something like this. You've got a bear on the left, a horse on the left, and then you got a blank area to the right. Tomorrow, when you come to class, I want you to practice, look at your bear here and draw your bear here, same size or bigger. I want you to look at the horse here and draw it over here. Now that's tomorrow. I don't want that today. Okay, for all intents and purposes today, once you have the horse finished up, we're done with what we're going to do on that today. Okay, so if you have those two done, and you got your first and last name on the back, just go ahead and just fold it in half like that once and set it on the table where you know they go. Okay, yep. And then go back and get you a large piece of paper. Yeah, just as long as it's the opposite. Yep. Okay, quickly get it and get back to your chairs because we got something else I got to have you do. Hurry up.